With the release of Reverse 1999's 2.20 update, I've come to a bit of a realization. After playing the story and interacting with all the characters and looking at all the cool skins, I like Vertin. Vertin's really cool. And in fact, I think Vertin is the best Gatcha MC of all time. First off, have you even looked at Vertin? Compare her to every other MC and how they look base. When you first meet them, how do they look? Before they get like maybe reincarnated or something, but like, how do they look? They don't have some plain white t-shirt on with a jacket or like a black jacket. She has drip. She has purple, like form-fitting, Victorian type clothes with the little gem and the top hat. Oh, dude, the top hat. I gotta tell you, I couldn't ever think that pastel blue and that like purple color went so well together, because I gotta tell you, they do. They work so well together. Incredibly, especially her hair color that like fits into the whole thing. It also gives off the vibe of like a traveler, because that's kind of what she's doing. She's traveling between time periods, and she's got the suitcase, she's got the umbrella, which is important. That's actually a good like gameplay and story thing, along with the suitcase, because obviously the suitcase is where you hide all your little minions that you make go out and fight for you, and the umbrella is for hiding from the all-knowing storm. And the fact that the whole Gatcha part of the game is only even available because of the suitcase she carries, and the fact that that suitcase is like completely immune to like the all-destroying storm, and she houses like all her little minions in there. I love that. Especially in gameplay, whenever you're like fighting people, typically you have the 3 people who actually attack, and you have an assist member. And the assist member, if you don't know, they're little like animals that wear the clothes of the characters. And that's incredible. That's such a cool thing. And Vertin has that. She just has that. And above all, the woman has aura. She has aura. You cannot compete with the aura she has. No other character, maybe a couple in the later chapters of their games, do, but like she has it from the get-go. Now, I gotta tell you, when I first opened this game, when I first started playing, on release by the way, there were only like the first 4 chapters out, I think, and I gotta tell you, that first chapter that is supposed to be your like penultimate introduction to the characters and the plot and everything is incredible. It's incredible. I know it kind of, the way they write their stories is like 1 and 2 are kind of the same plot line, but that first one especially, where you first meet Vertin and Sonetto, oh, dude, that is like a masterclass in writing. I genuinely think that is such a masterclass in writing. You get to know both Sonetto and Vertin's personality, and they also grow, by the way. Also, Schneider, it's hard not to like Schneider, and unfortunately, what happens? If you played the game, you know. But also implied Schneider and Vertin kiss. Lesbian protag? Implied, I guess, lesbian protag? It doesn't have to be. Who knows? She may be asexual. Who cares? Still cool, though. And dude, I gotta tell you, that last section from like after section 1 in section 2 and that last part of section 2, where they all sit at the table and they're literally reenacting the Last Supper, like from the Bible, is crazy. Even if you're not religious, still, the fact that that was in the game, and the fact that Vertin is like a allegory for Jesus in that kind of point, which kind of makes sense because she saves everybody there. It's just incredible. It's incredible. It's literally called The Last Supper. When you go to like memories and stuff, it's called The Last Supper there. It's incredible. And most of all, the whole rounded part lets you learn about Vertin, and that she's actually a character that has actual relationships with others around her that aren't just, oh my gosh, I'm friend now, you're friend now, we're having soft tacos later. We're just, they're people who have their own personalities and own conflicts, and they feel like people. Except for Arcana, but Arcana is like, who even knows if she might not even be a person, who knows? All I gotta say is that the devs, they know how to write a story. Especially with Chapter 8 that just came out. But by golly, I'm not gonna spoil that for anybody who hasn't seen. Now, when you think about a character, especially a gacha game character, one of the first questions that might come to your mind is, who's their voice actor? Well, I didn't know who voiced Vertin, so I looked it up. Her name is Scarlet Grace, and she is incredible. I know you may be thinking, who the hell is Scarlet Grace? And I was thinking the same thing. So I looked at her IMDb page, and she has voiced in one other thing that I know of, and that is Metaphor, which if you've seen this channel, you know I played Metaphor, I'll tell you that. She played Maria. That's where the voice, I was like, I know her voice. I know her voice. She plays Maria, the little girl. And she also, surprisingly, plays in River City Girls 2 as Scarlet. I've never played the game, but I do hear raving reviews about it. So if you're curious, she plays in that too. But among everything, I think when she plays Vertin, she plays Vertin. Like, she is Vertin. Like, her voice, I could not imagine that her voice would not be Vertin's voice. Like, if you look at Vertin, you would think that's how she sounds like. And hats off to the voice, the casting director, because holy hell, that's impressive. I hear you. I hear your cries. I hear them in the night. I can't escape them. I know what you're saying. But this video game's MC is actually pretty good. Oh, the doctor's pretty good. Oh, Fujimaru's pretty good. And while they are good in their own way, you have to admit something. When you load up other gacha games, you are given a choice, typically, between a male or a female character. And sometimes you're not even given that choice. But typically, they're also no-faced. Docta is no-faced. Fujimaru, they got a face, but there ain't nothing on it. There's just I feel like it's just a sheet of paper sometimes, man. And for many other games, that's kind of how it is. Because inherently, those are self-insert characters. They don't really have their own personality. Because they all have amnesia, or they're new at their job to saving the world, and they get all these responsibilities, which is its own can of worms. But Vertin isn't like that. Vertin isn't like that. She knows what she's doing. From chapter 1, when you first meet her, she knows what she's there to do. She is the professional. She is the timekeeper. That's the point. She already has like half of her personality. She doesn't need to start with no personality. And you can, I guess, self-insert yourself on Vertin, but inherently she is her own character. If she was on the gacha, that would make sense. I mean, she's her own character. I don't really have an issue with MCs being like this. When you play these games, you want the female 5-star big boob character to go, oh my gosh, you're so lovely, I love you so much, mwah, mwah. Or you want to pull a hot dude, and that's fine. I have nothing, you can do whatever you want in your own free time. But Vertin is inherently her own character, and I love that. I love that. Most of all, she actively progresses the story forward. Most MCs, they let stuff happen to them, and they're reactionary. While Vertin is actionary. She constantly goes out and does things. She's almost never the one that has stuff happen to her without her ever doing anything first. And that piques my fancy, I'll tell you what. That piques my fancy. And most of all, above everything, she has one thing that most MCs will never get, and the others will ever barely get. And that's a little thing called character development. Now you may think you got a little developed on your like 28th story chapter, and yeah, because that's kind of mandatory. If you lasted that long, that's kind of a mandatory thing you had to do. But Vertin has done that from the get-go. I could go on and on, but I don't want this video to be hours long. So I'm just gonna end it here with a small note that Vertin feels like a real person. She feels like you could really meet her. And she feels also like a main character, which is a hard line to walk. But the devs for Reverse 1999 have done that magnificently. And so I thank you, devs, if you ever see this. And I thank you for watching. Later.